background checks on everyone that we work with, check IDs. So, it's a nice way of meeting quality people that you wouldn't meet on your own.
So in other
That's why
words,
I'm a service maker. That's why I got into this business.
you do a little history of the person, their interests and their lifestyle.
Brett, are you still there? I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear Beverly?
No, I can't hear anyone.
Okay, she cannot hear Beverly. I don't know why. Let's turn Beverly's mic way up, all right? What did you say, Beverly?
Okay, so
Can you
Sherry,
hear her now?
can you hear me now?
No.
Okay. But anyway, you do question people about their background, what their interests are, a little bit of history about the lifestyle and their jobs, so that therefore people are compatible when they meet each other, they have common interests. Can you hear me, Sherry? No. Where she's not hearing me.
Okay, well, we got to press the buttons until it does work. We're live on the air. I don't know what's going on.
You want to just repeat what she asked?
Oh, can you hear me now,
No,
Sherry?
it has to be straightened out. We got to get this straightened out.
Okay. We do have a technical problem. Can you hear me? No. Okay.
Keep talking.
I would like to hear from her. I think it's an interesting business because it's been successful. It's like you've been in business 23 years. She's been in business 23 years. That's pretty amazing.
How much does it cost for this service?
Well, we have, different fees that depend on what kind of membership you want. So if someone wanted to just be added into the database, it's 3,000. But if they want, premium membership, of course, it's a lot more than that.
Well, what?
We've got our team of matchmakers working, and it's a lot of work going out finding the right people for clients to meet.
Okay, so tell me about the different packages.
If you get a VIP membership with us, which a lot of our clients do, it would be 25,000 for 1 year. You can be matched in the area you live, or you can pick out another location. So a lot of our clients travel. So they'll meet people in New York, people in Southern California, or San Francisco, wherever they're traveling.
Now, the average individual can't afford 25,000. So what you do is you just team up rich people with rich people. But the only bad news about that is a lot of time, if you with somebody like that has less than you, there might be love. I mean, and so you're kind of pushing them off the chest.
Well, you're making me throw out prices online. We've got other types of memberships where just, a basic package is 9,000 for 6 months. But some people are just added into the database, and then we introduce them to people that we're looking for. So that works out well too.
Well, don't you think the number one fear, though, which you have a very wealthy community here, and I would suspect that the number one thing that haunts a lot of wealthy people is that somebody's marrying them for wealth.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the case with anybody, or attractive women that think men are just marrying them because they're pretty and they're worried they won't like them when they're older. So
There you go. Now, so
all kinds of fears.
so money on a man. Could you turn my mic back up though? My mic needs to be louder. So money on a man is like beauty is on a woman.
Well, we've got some beautiful, successful women too. So the women want to date men that are nice looking too. Everybody has a different opinion of what is attractive to them. So it's just the way it is. Everybody's got a certain criteria that they're looking for, a type of person they'll be attracted to. So that's why we have to have so many different types of people that we're working with.
How lengthy is like an examination? I give you $10,000. How long is the examination? What kind of papers do I have to fill out so you know what I'm looking for?
We have a form that you fill out that gives us your basic information. When you meet with a matchmaker, it's around an hour to two that we sit and talk and get to know each other and sort of figure out, really what you're looking for or the type of person that you need. If you meet a lot of times people have a type in mind that's stuck in their head, but it hasn't worked in all these years. So why would it work now? You're being attracted to the wrong type of person. Trying to get somebody to turn around and date somebody that's a little different than they're used to is sometimes difficult, but the best thing to do.
Now you can't guarantee you're going to find someone, can you?
No, we all but it's really up to that person to focus and make it a priority. And
Well, how did
some
you?
people that are
Yeah.
successful too, they really don't have time in their life for adding another person permanently. So, that's an issue too. You've got to make time in your life to have a.
So, how did this whole thing get started? You said your husband had this business going before you met him.
So, no, I joined a matchmaker. I was in real estate. I was a single mom. I joined a matchmaker. And my first date was my husband.
Really?
So I left that date thinking, oh, I don't know if he's really my type, really nice guy. What a great job this would be for me. I've always introduced people, even in high school, and um, I just thought it would be a really good job for me. I was kind of burned out on real estate, so I started my own company maybe a couple months after that. But I kept dating my husband based on a friend's advice, which was your type. I said, well, you're not really my type. He said, your type is totally, well, what are you thinking? So give him a try, go out a few more times. So, 3 or 4 times, and he really did grow on me, and we've been together all this time now. So we've been together for 24 years.
Wow, matchmaker, matchmaker, find me a match, find me a find, catch me a catch. So,
The point is that if I hadn't been open-minded enough to go out with him a few more times, I wouldn't have been with the best person I've ever known in my life. So, people get close-minded. Oh, there's red flags. They don't want to date somebody for this reason or that reason. But, you need to have an open mind when you're dating.
well, uh,
Leave your options open.
well, the gal I'm with now, I met on Match.com about 8 years ago. Yeah, and the thing is, though, I didn't post my picture at first because I'm well known in this area. And then she said, I don't mean to be superficial, but could you post your picture? So I posted my picture. Well, I didn't actually, my secretary at that time did. And she said, so we met, but she said, well, why would Rhett Palmer be on here? He's certainly socially connected. Of course, I wondered what she was doing on there. She was a cute little 5'2", adorable. Wouldn't you say so, Beverly? She's
Oh,
adorable.
yeah, she is adorable.
She is adorable. And so we met at Panera Bread. But I said, did you ever listen to my show? And of course, she said no. I said, why not? She said, because I thought anybody that had a big enough ego to put his picture on billboards would be, an egomaniac. I don't know, something to that effect. And I think the only reason she listens now is so she can turn me off.
Well, your point is that, why would you need help finding somebody? Why would she? Everybody's in the same position. And the world's spinning by so fast that, if you don't try something different, you end up sitting around by yourself.
Well, I don't think women are aware. Maybe you're aware of this. But I remember that Elvis's ex-wife, Priscilla, she said that she goes to movies alone because guys won't ask her out. They're scared. You get a beauty queen, and everybody thinks everybody's after her. I'm not going to ask her. She's just going to say no. What does she want? What does she want to do with a toad like me? And unless you get some egomaniac, and then the poor girl ends up with one of all men are egotistical. That's because you're only picking the egotistical ones. So it's what kind of qualities, though. It's hard to define because you can't leave out the intuitive process. What's that famous story? I had a counselor friend, and he told me there was this guy that was like humpback or something. And it's a true story, somewhere in America. I think he was a doctor or something. Anyway, so he met this lady. She wanted nothing to do with him. He was kind of humpback. It's just really kind of not too good looking. And somehow they talked, and he said, well, in heaven, I was beautiful, and you were not attractive, but I gave up my beauty. I gave it to you so you could be beautiful when you came to Earth. And they got married and spent a lifetime together. I mean, so you never, what's that intuition thing too? Come on, you're female. I mean, even in the Bible it says a fool does not confer with his wife because women have an intuition. I happen to be in touch with my feminine side. So, like, I knew that Trump was going to win. I knew that the hurricane wasn't going to strike us a few months ago. Dr. Rendon, my neighbor, said, take a picture of the neighborhood because it's never going to look like this again. I said, well, maybe I'm getting older and maybe my knower doesn't know. But in my knower, I said, this isn't going to be bad. And it wasn't bad. So, and women know that. I mean, I've had, okay, and I might as well say it on the air. In the past year, I've had 5 people that have walked through this door who we considered working with who ended up in jail. I'm not a good judge, you know. Yeah, I had, yeah, you wouldn't believe. I mean, I had people calling me from Tennessee saying, you know, because we're now heard on iHeartRadio now, so saying, I get a bad vibe about that lady you're having on your show. Let her go. And of course, Barbara said, I don't think she should be on. I don't like her. Something about it. And sure enough, she ripped me off for thousands of dollars,
Wow.
pleading that she needed an emergency loan.
You
But you,
listen to those women.
but
Yes.
he does give people the benefit of the doubt. He's very open-minded. Yes.
Mm.
So that's why he gets fooled sometimes.
We won't get fooled again. Anyway, remember the Who. So I find this very interesting, though. But I, of course, 10,000 is even a lot for a guy like me. I mean, you know, 10,000, $25,000. Now, I can understand, though. I think the worst thing in the world is we live in a very affluent area, and the worst thing in the world, like for instance, we have more Fortune 500 retired CEOs than any zip code in the United States of America. And Barbara, before she met me, was going out with a former CEO, and he had 2 60-foot Hatteras boats, lived in a multi-million-dollar home in Johns Island. But she said, I said, why aren't you with him? Why would you take a schmuck like me when you could be with him? She said, because he's boring.
I agree.
Tell a story about that doctor. Now, Beverly dated a doctor. Tell about the fact that he parked away because he wouldn't want to pay. Remember the.
He didn't want to pay the valet tip, because he was so frugal and he was boring. Because this is what happens.
Yeah, but he let you. They parked away, and then the rain came, and she just had her hair done and everything for this date, and the son of a gun wouldn't take the valet parking, so she had to walk in the rain. And now the guy's dead, right?
Yes.
Hope you're enjoying your money now, you jerk.
and
Well,
and
not everybody with money is that's true.
No,
Nice
no.
people out there.
Oh, there's a lot of nice people with money. Oh, no, no, no. And I believe, I don't know what your faith is or whatever, but I happen to believe in the Lord above. And I've seen a lot of people, yes, I've seen a lot of arrogance, but I've seen a whole lot more kindness. And I go, I see why God prospered that person because they're very tender hearted. And I,
Yeah, you know what? I met this guy that we've been working with, and he won the lottery twice, if you can imagine. And you're never going to meet anybody that's lucky with me. So every year, for 17 years, we've had a fundraiser for homeless teens in LA. But anyway, so we had this big event, and he mailed us a check for $5,000. You know, and we just met him, not that long, but you know, he very generous guy. You can tell. So
oh, we had 2 couples here last year that gave $12 million each to our local hospital. I mean, that's the kind of deep pockets we have. We have Mr. Stark who gave $13 million to our local theater. So yeah, we have a lot of big givers here. And of course, he was in the building next to the Twin Towers when they went down, but he survived.
always appreciated his life for sure.
Yeah, he got remarried at, let's see, he and his wife would be at the Lemon Tree restaurant. They'd be looking at each other like 2 teenagers. She finally died, and he got remarried at 90 to the present Mrs. Stark. And then we lost Richard when he was 94, I think he was. But yeah, but quite a story of a very tender-hearted giver. So we have a lot of people like that around here. But it's got to be problematic because, when you get a lot of famous people that want to remain incognito.
Yeah, that we do have some really awesome celebrities that we're working with.
Yes, yeah. See, if I was world famous, then I would not want you to divulge who I was. The only thing is when somebody meets you,
yeah,
then they. Although I know I interviewed Carly Simon. Remember, you're so vain. Well, anyway, I interviewed her. I was with her and her husband, who now they're divorced. This guy, but they met on the train. She doesn't like to fly, so they came down from the train from Albany, New York. She was at Martha's Vineyard, then she came anyway. She took taking the train, and she met him on the train, and they met each other. And he had never heard of her. I don't know what kind of a. I don't know. He was some. He said claimed he was a poet. But maybe he was a lazy poet, and that's why she broke up with him. I don't know. Yeah, you're so vain. Do you know she finally revealed who that song's about?
What's the Warren Beatty?
Nope, Geffen.
Oh,
Geffen.
really?
Yeah, the producer, the music producer. So listen, there are people listening right now that might be lonely and they really want to find. How do they get in touch with you?
They can call me at 305-909-6547, and our website is newconnections.com.
Well, I want to thank you for calling in today.
And thank you for having me.
Okay, have a great time. All right, so we also have a lady, Jackie's in here. Jackie, what you're in here to talk about? What's swimming safety?
Vero Beach Swim School is my
You got to
business.
move that closer to you. Yeah, just like that. What's that?
Vero Beach Swim School is my business here locally in Vero Beach.
Well, you teach swimming.
I do.
Were you swimming this morning?
No,
Oh, okay.
just a shower.
You swim every day? Because her hair looks like you just got out of the shower.
I did.
I thought maybe that you. So what is this swim school?
So we teach a little bit differently. We have 4 kids in a class.
4 kids in a class.
Yeah, at a time. So it's instructor and student one-on-one. Everybody takes a turn. We teach front crawl, back crawl, survival skills, and they have some free time in each class. Every class is always the same. We don't throw them in. We encourage them, but I think we take a more positive approach.
Yeah, you don't want a mother who has fear. My mother said she never let on that she was afraid of the water because she didn't want that transferred to us.
Right.
If people want to get in touch with you for these swimming lessons, is it just for kids or kids and adults or what?
All of it, infants through adults.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, how do they get in touch with you, Jackie
I'm
Henry?
VeroBeachSwimSchool.com,
VeroBeachSwimSchool.com.
and they can also find me on Facebook.
And also find you on Facebook. That's where we met, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break, and the shows will continue this morning here. I'm Rhett Palmer, the mayor of the airwaves. Who loves you, baby?
Now that is,
So what we'll do is we'll go.
finish it.
Did you get the show from those people?
Yes, I did.
Was it in time, or is everything cool?
Everything's cool. We're going into the 10:30 news break, and then you're done.
Hey, somebody put us back on here. I didn't want us on in the video.